It's the BIGBOIOUT. Now party people in the club, it's time to cut a rug and throw the loose up in the sky just for the shutter buzz. I'm double fisted and you empty, you can grab a club. Boy, stop, I'm just playing, let me dap you up.
You're in my system, baby. Tell me you're listening.
Why? It's after 12 club like I.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and I'm here to recap day one of the WNBA playoffs. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. All right, y'all, let's start with the Minnesota Lynx and the Golden State Valkyries. And the Lynx absolutely dominated the Valkyries, defeating them 101-72. And this game played out exactly how I thought it would. The Valkyries don't have the firepower to play with the Lynx. It's really that simple. And the Valkyries have a really good defensive team. You can make a case that they were the best defensive team in the league this season. But when you're going up against a team like the Minnesota Lynx, who's an elite offensive team, or who's the best three-point shooting team in the league, you have to be able to score, y'all, point blank, period. You cannot rely on your defense because your defense isn't going to be able to get enough stops against a team like that. And we saw it on yesterday. The Valkyries gave up 101 points, which is the most points they have allowed all season. And again, y'all, their calling card is defense. That's what they do, is play defense. But they couldn't do it on yesterday. Why? Because they're just simply outmatched in this series, y'all. That's what it comes down to. The Valkyries are ready to play against a team like the Minnesota Lynx. Maybe, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, they'll be able to compete against the Minnesota Lynx. But as they're currently constructed, y'all, they're not ready. And that's not an indictment on them. I mean, the Valkyries overachieved this season. I thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league. But the fact that in their first year as an expansion team, they made it to the playoffs, they won 23 games. Give a big shout out to Natalie Nikase, the job that she did. I think she should be coach of the year. So they've had a phenomenal season. But they're not ready for a team like the Minnesota Lynx, y'all. And you saw that on yesterday. I mean, the Lynx were out there just swarming defensively. There were so many possessions that the Valkyries could barely get the ball past the three-point line, and that's why they had to shoot so many threes, y'all. The Valkyries shot 31 threes, which is way too many threes for them to be shooting, considering they're not a very good three-point shooting team. Now, the Minnesota Lynx, on the other hand, as I mentioned earlier, they're the best three-point shooting team in the league. They shot 41% from three yesterday. What's crazy is, y'all, the Lynx only attempted 24 threes. The Valkyries attempted 31 threes. Okay, if the Valkyries want any chance of winning this series, which they won't win this series, y'all, but if they want any chance of winning it, they cannot attempt more threes than the Minnesota Lynx. That definitely cannot happen. They got to try to get the ball in the paint, get easy baskets, which is going to be incredibly difficult to do when you got to deal with Alana Smith, Nafisa Collier, and Jessica Shepard down there in the paint. So again, y'all, listen, the Valkyries have had a phenomenal season, but their season is going to end very, very shortly. It simply is. They're not ready yet. Okay, and that's why I had the Minnesota Lynx sweeping them. I'm pretty sure that everyone had the Minnesota Lynx sweeping them in this series because we know that the Minnesota Lynx, I mean, they're just a totally dominant team, y'all. And the Valkyries, on the other hand, they're not ready for a challenge like this. Maybe they will be at some point, but right now they aren't. So not surprised that they got dominated. I think they're going to get dominated in game two, and the Minnesota Lynx will easily advance to the second round of the playoffs, y'all. Next up, we have my Atlanta Dream and the Indiana Fever, and the Dream defeated the Fever 80-68, y'all. And I think in this game, you really saw how much the Indiana Fever are really missing Caitlin Clark, because Kelsey Mitchell was phenomenal. We cannot stop her at all. Okay, she had 27 points. She played extremely well. She was getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line, being able to absorb contact and finish at the rim. Right, then we know Kelsey Mitchell is a really good three-point shooter. She made a couple of threes on us. I mean, we just simply cannot stop her. The problem is, y'all, outside of her, the Indiana Fever, they don't have any ball handlers. They don't have any shot creators. Because if they had Caitlin Clark on yesterday, they might have beat us. Because they were very competitive in that game. Very competitive. And y'all, I'm going to be honest, the Dream, we did not have a very good offensive performance. We only shot about 38% from the floor, okay? Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard, they really struggled yesterday. Now, they still had 20 points, but it took them about 18 shots to get those 20 points. So they were not efficient yesterday at all. The reason we won that game is really because of our defense. Now, our defense played at a really high level. But again, some of that could be, y'all, because outside of Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever just lack ball handlers. They lack shot creators right now. And outside of Kelsey Mitchell, you have a player like Aaliyah Boston, who's one of the most dominant post players in the league. but we were able to, slow her down because we had Bree Jones, we had Brittany Griner, we had Nas Tillman, and y'all, I thought Nas was the MVP of yesterday's game. I honestly believe that, man. She had 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks. She was very active defensively, very active in terms of crashing the glass. So I love the way Nas Tillman played. If she plays like that again, we're going to sweep the Fever. I had this series going to 3 games because I feel like in game 2, when we head to Indiana, I thought the Fever could potentially, get us in that game. But y'all, the way they looked yesterday, I mean, their offense just lacks so much creativity right now. Everything is running through Kelsey Mitchell. And even though she played extremely well, the Fever they don't have enough right now. They don't. Okay, so we should sweep them, y'all. But again, I would not be surprised, though, if they still were able to upset us in game 2. Because, Indiana, man, that crowd's going to be rocking. Everyone's going to be going crazy. But let's hopefully the Dream, we take care of business in game 2. We sweep them and we're able to get some rest and move on to round 2. But, yeah, wasn't really that impressed by the way we played offensively. Love the way we played defensively. But I'll say this, y'all. If we move to round 2, we're more likely than not going to be playing the Las Vegas Aces. If we want any chance of defeating the Aces, we got to be much better offensively. We got to be more efficient. We got to clean some of these turnovers up because it's not going to cut it against the Aces. You might be able to get away with it playing against the Fever. But if we advance to round 2 and play the Aces, man, we're going to have to get better at that. But overall, y'all, man, hey, a win is a win. We won the game by double digits. So move on. Hopefully, we get ready for game 2 and win it and close the series out. Next up, y'all, we have the New York Liberty and Phoenix Mercury. This is my favorite game of the day, man, because this game went to overtime, and the the Liberty were able to pull it out. They won this game 76-69, y'all. And Natasha Cloud and Leonie Phoebus, oh my goodness. Incredible performances by both of those young ladies. Let's talk about Tasha, y'all. She had 23.6 assists and 5 rebounds. Tasha was incredible. I think this is probably her best game of her career. Now, I know a couple of years ago when she was playing for the Washington Mystics, she had 31 points in a playoff game against the Liberty. Ironically enough, now she's playing for the Liberty. But, y'all, you talk about just her two-way impact, her tenacity, her defensive presence. She was locking up Kalia Copper and Moa Makani. I mean, Tasha was locking up out there. And then being able to get 23 points. She shot 75% from the floor. Not just getting 23 points, but then being that efficient, getting those points. Very impressed by what I saw from Natasha Cloud, y'all. And they need it, especially since Sabrina yesterday, she was kind of struggling from the floor. And also Jonquil Jones, she kind of struggled as well. She only had 7 points. So they needed Tasha to step up, and she did. So I love what I saw from Tasha, y'all. And then Leonie Phoebus. Man, when I tell y'all Leonie Phoebus is one of my favorite players in the league, I honestly mean that. I know she's not a superstar, but she is a superstar in her role. I think she is the best 3-and-D player in the WNBA. She put the clamps on Satou Sabally, y'all. And I love Satou. I think Satou is a top 15 player in the league. But Leonie Phoebus locked her up. Okay, Satou shot 2 of 17 from the floor. Let me repeat that, y'all. Satou Sabally, who is a great player, who's an all-star player, shot 2 of 17. It was because Leonie Phoebus locked her up. Put the clamps on her, y'all. And, man, Leonie Phoebus is just such an impressive player to watch defensively because she uses her length extremely well. She's 6'4". She's very agile. She's very fast. She moves well. And she can test shots, y'all, because of her height and her wingspan. And it's incredibly hard to get around her. It's incredibly hard to score on her. And we saw it on yesterday, man. Satou could not do it. She just could not do it. Now, the only negative, y'all, that came from this game, I would say on the Liberty side of things, would be the injury to Breanna Stewart. She injured her knee late in that game. We'll have to see what becomes of that. Hopefully, Stewie is fine. The great thing is, y'all, even if Stewie had to miss game 2, I still think the Liberty could sweep the Mercury and win that game because, man, the Liberty, I think, have the best depth in the WNBA. I mean, they flexed their muscles yesterday with their depth. And Rebecca Gardner barely even played yesterday. And we know she's a really good defender. So just imagine if she plays. I mean, the Mercury just really, really struggled offensively going up against the Liberty's defense. And it wasn't just, Tasha and Leonie Phoebus, y'all. We also got to give a lot of love, though, to Kennedy Burke. I know she played well defensively. Jonquil Jones was locking up the paint. She made things hard for Satou as well. But again, the 2 MVPs of that game, y'all, Natasha Cloud and Leonie Phoebus, really loved the way they played. And for the Phoenix Mercury, they just try to have to, improve offensively and get some easy baskets. Okay, but I think Satou and Kalia Copper trying to play this ISO-style basketball against the Liberty's defense is not going to cut it. I'm telling you, it's not going to cut it, y'all. Because when the Liberty are healthy, they're probably the best defensive team in the league. Because just think about all the elite defenders they have on that team. Stewie, Rebecca Gardner, Leonie Phoebus, Tasha Cloud, Jonquil Jones, Emma Meesman. Man, they got a collection of really strong defenders that are versatile, that can guard multiple positions, that are fast, that are athletic, that are quick. So when you're going up against a defense like that, you have to be able to move them. You can't just play iso ball. That's what the Mercury did yesterday, and it's not going to work. So if the Mercury have any chance, y'all, of winning the game 2 and potentially winning this series, they have to get, play more team-oriented basketball, get the ball out of KFC and Satu Saba's hand, make it easier for them. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in game 2 between the Liberty and Mercury. And finally, y'all, we have the Las Vegas Aces and Seattle Storm. And the Aces defeated the Storm 102-77. And this game was never competitive. I mean, you could tell from the beginning of the game, the Aces were going to dominate the Storm. And that's exactly what they did. And all of the Storm's effort was pathetic. I mean, it was horrible. The Aces had so many wide open shots. And that should not happen in a playoff game, y'all. It shouldn't happen. I mean, you're playing for your season. If you lose, you're going home. And the Seattle Storm looked absolutely pathetic out there. They looked like they weren't even interested in being a part of that game. And that's an indictment on Noel Quinn, y'all. And listen, I think Noel Quinn is a solid coach. But, it's not looking good for her because we know what happened last season, right? There was some off-the-court drama. They ended up trading Jewel Lloyd. And then this season, y'all, it was some more off-the-court drama. They really didn't have anything to do with Noel Quinn in particular. It was really between Alicia Clark and Skylar Diggins. And then Alicia Clark got traded. But, y'all, this is not good, okay? You should have your team ready to play for a playoff game. And even after the game, Nneka Ogwumike admitted they weren't ready to play. They did not match the intensity and effort that the Aces brought. And that should never happen in a playoff game, y'all. If your best player is saying that about her team, that's not good. Okay, so Noel Quinn really has to make sure that her team is ready to go for game 2. If not, they're going to get blown out again and their season's going to be over. And I had the Aces sweeping them, y'all. But I did not think the Aces were going to just be able to dominate the Storm like that. I mean, the Storm still have a pretty solid team, right? You got Nneka Ogwumike, you got Skylar Diggins, you got Brittany Sykes, you got Dominique Malonga, Izzy Magamir, and Gabby Williams. They still have a pretty solid team. Oh, and you got Erica Wheeler coming off the bench as their 6th player. So they have a pretty solid team. But they got absolutely dominated because their effort was horrible. It was pathetic. So let's see what the Storm are going to do in game 2, y'all. I don't have any expectations for them that they're even going to make the game close. I think they're going to get dominated yet again and their season's going to be over. But moving on to the Las Vegas Aces side of things, man, I mean, this was just a dominant performance by them, y'all. Asia yet again had another incredible game, 29 points and 7 rebounds. She was 1 point off from another 30-point game. But beyond her, man, I really love the way their bench played. I mean, Dana Evans came in. She got 13 points and 6 assists. I thought she really controlled the tempo and pace of the game. And Dana Evans, I think she's one of the more underrated players in the league, man. She's a good three-point shooter. She's a good passer. She's a tenacious defender. She makes good decisions with the basketball. Really love me some Dana Evans, a.k.a. Tasha St. Patrick. But then, y'all, you got Cheyenne Parker. And Cheyenne Parker has looked very, very well and since she's returned in her 3 games, right? She played about 7 minutes yesterday, had 8 points, and she hasn't played a lot of minutes yet, but in the minutes she's been getting, she's been very effective both offensively and defensively. I thought not only did she score the ball well and efficiently, but she also played some pretty solid defense out there. And then, y'all, you had Aaliyah Nye. She hit a couple of threes. So I just love the Aces depth right now. We know Jewel Lloyd's been coming off the bench for the last month, and she hit 4 threes. I mean, the Aces as a team shot 48% from 3, so they just lit it up yesterday. And yeah, y'all, like I said, I expect more of the same in game 2. I don't think the Storm are going to come out and play, any better, play any harder. I think the Aces are going to dominate them, sweep them, and move on to round 2. So there you have it, man. This was me recapping day 1 of the WNBA playoffs, man. Give me your thoughts in the comment box below. Remember, y'all, laughter's good medicine. So what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm an enemy, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.
Hey, money old. I'm on an old school beat. Hey, not Halloween, but I got some tricks that give me trees. Hey, I put my maid in the street, cause that gon' sweep. Street sweeper, she a keeper.